I pulled out a timestamp on the first time I heard Erica say that, and also I think when the doctor says it, I hate it here.
All right, well, we're going now. So
Why do I do
we're gonna
this
let Mike.
myself?
Oh shit! Hang on. I'm fucking
Hanging on.
I am
yelling
trying
at
to
you
stay
guys.
clear
I'm
of
not-
my microphone cords because if I touch them, they scream.
All right.
This stupid fly. I'm gonna kill it.
We're all queued up, ready to go.
Yes, sir.
You have your thingy that you say?
This week on the Media Virus Podcast, doctor's hearing aid blunder leaves patient in a colonoscopy catastrophe. Springfield woman's persuasive rumor lands her in the doghouse. A catastrophic tale of barking up the wrong tree. And Maddie has been talking out of his ass for years, but these IG Nobel Prize winners discovered pigs can breathe through their anuses. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh at the world burning around us with executive producer Mike Latoris. We're going to start over. BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden.
Makes me tingly in an unfamiliar way.
Grease Monkey Pete.
Damn, Big Daddy.
Here's the thing about the Media Virus Podcast. It's really well done.
And now, spreading the sage nihilism of an aged Gen Xer, your host and mine, the star of our show, the incomparable Maddie Rockdeath.
Well, hot damn. You know, we have a show for you people this week. I am Matty Rockdeaf. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I am the mattiest of all Rockdeafs.
Everybody knows that.
And proof positive that anyone can have a podcast. And I want to stress on that a little bit because when I say I know that people watch this show and we make it look hard. You know?
Okay.
We kind of
We really make it look like it's difficult, but it's not. All you really need is a microphone and just start talking, you know.
And
About
one
something
of those,
else?
and one of those, and one of those, one of those, one of these.
Well, I mean, basically rudimentary.
Those are the fun things that we get to go
Immensely.
with this.
We're guys. It requires stuff, so we're into it.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
why most men. There's a lot of jokes about men, you know, like in bars, like, "Hey, want to start a podcast?
Anyways.
Hey, this is good. I want to start a podcast."
I love the Family Guy one.
Yeah. So, but speaking of podcasts, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share. That's another important point. I always drive home. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. I want to take a minute and thank the new subscribers for their support, whether it's on TuneIn, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you're just checking us out on MediaVirus.com, thank you. And we are able to take calls again. So if you give us a call at 646-VIRUS-01, yes, it's 646-VIRUS-01, you will make it on the show. That's just how we do.
Yeah.
You know, we've been going through some growing pains.
Have we?
This week? Yeah, absolutely. Well, this month. I mean, I really feel like hitting that 200 mark and you know, we've tightened up once again. And you're getting better and better. But I'm realizing that I need to have some piece of organization, and I'm really trying to work on that. And I thought I had something, and I need to work on it. You know, it still might be ideal, but I have dropped the ball in several areas this week. So I don't know. I'm going to be kind of clumsy with our animation. I did not make any slides, although I did generate the images.
Okay.
Oh, we got that going on. I've had a fun time hanging out with my parents.
Oh.
And dealing.
I love the sarcasm.
Yeah. So, dude,
Looks like you stood close to somebody with scissors.
what I did, because I have an impending job interview tomorrow. I decided that it was time to get a haircut.
Oh, you decided.
Yes, I did decide. I understand that you've been telling me to get it. You told me to get a haircut today. Okay,
I'm
but
gonna
how many
hazard-
times? How many times in the past 4 months have you asked me to get a haircut?
At least 6.
And how many times in the past 4 months have I went and gotten a haircut?
1.
So who decided that I went and got a haircut?
I'm not Pete. Don't talk to me like that.
I'm just saying. That's all. The only point that I'm making is,
I'm
All
gonna
right.
hazard. You're the guy that sits in the chair and moves around constantly while the guy is trying to cut your hair, or while the lady is trying to cut your hair.
does this
One or the
haircut
other.
does this haircut look like I moved around a lot, dude?
He's actually really good. He just likes to talk to them and they don't get it.
What I say they don't get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
Because
find
she
that a
said,
lot.
yeah, because I walk in, I'm telling her what I want. She's like, oh, I'm gonna make you look great. I'm like, word. Now she was a younger, black woman. She had long dreads and stuff.
Right.
So, and I'm like, hey, that's kind of funny that you can, they say you can tell how old somebody is by the slang they won't let go of.
Right.
She's like, kind of, and she didn't quite get it. I'm like, when I said word,
Right.
she said, but she didn't even understand.
right.
Like she had never heard
word. Huh.
before. And it's weird to me.
Yeah. Maybe she had never heard it from a white guy before.
Probably.
That could be it.
I find myself explaining some of the slang that I use to the coworkers and people I come across every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find myself having to explain, because these are things that I just say all the time, and they look at you like you have 3 heads.
Yeah, if a Zennial or a late stage Gen Xer
Yeah.
says something is dope,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't feel real good using that. I feel it makes me sound ridiculous.
No, I understand, but it's just it's one of those things. I used it all the time. I was like, yo, it's dope. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And it was like it was in like this ironic,
Right.
sarcastic way, but it seems to have stuck with me.
Right.
So the irony is lost, and I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're just some old guy who says that thing.
Right. Who thinks dope is cool?
Is this what we're talking about?
All of our old school.
I thought we were
dope-
having a perfectly pleasant conversation, but we'll move on, Mike.
all of our dope old school slang.
Listen, we're not that old compared to the doctor and the next story.
Yeah, doctor's hearing aid blunder leaves patient in colonoscopy catastrophe. In a story that's hard to digest, an 84-year-old doctor found himself deep in trouble after failing to notice his colonoscopy patient screaming in pain. The reason? He wasn't wearing his hearing aid. This irresponsible oversight has the medical board all ears as they investigate. The patient, who was left in agony, stated he didn't choke me, pull my hair, or anything. And he is surely hoping for a sound resolution. Let's hope this doctor tunes in better next time and doesn't leave any more patients in a bind, or any binds in his patients. It's a gut-wrenching tale that reminds us all to listen up and stay alert.
Absolutely fantastic. Can you imagine though?
Literally no.
Like you're the man responsible for shoving a tube up your rectum cannot hear you if you scream.
Ew.
That sounds like a nightmare scenario.
Well, there's an episode of Nip Tuck, from 100. Speaking of old people things, that there was a patient that was on the table, and she was like awake, and I remember like the shot, like in the commercial before this episode,
Right.
like the teaser, there was it's like a shot of her, like her profile. There's a tear coming down her, like the side of her cheek.
Yeah.
Like, I think of
Yeah.
that all the fucking time, and when I did my surgery, I was like, "Oh my god, what if?"
That's is it like a syndrome or something where
I think she was like a ginger or something, and so it's like she
they're
needed
either
more
immune or
anesthesia.
they're just they don't respond to anesthetic.
Yeah, redheads
Yeah,
also have a very high tolerance for anesthesia.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, you could pump them full
Yep.
and of anesthetic, and they just still feel pain.
So my mom's a redhead, and my hair is redder than my dad, so I got a little bit of that. I woke up.
Ginger, we got half a soul.
When I was 17, I had a hernia repair. I woke up in the middle of it, and I opened my eyes, and I said, "Doctor, is that an incision?" And he looked very gingerly up over his glasses at the anesthesiologist to my left and said, "Doctor, this young man needs more drugs." And the next thing I remember was waking up asking for coffee.
That's so weird.
Do you think the doctor that was performing your surgery ever dumped gallons of piss all over anything?
I doubt it. He was a really nice guy. I really liked him. I don't think that would be his move.
I don't think the guy in the story is necessarily not a nice guy. We don't know him, but he got quite upset.
Yeah, he had a golden grudge. Doctor's liquid revenge. Good evening, listeners. In today's pungent news, a Florida doctor has taken the phrase liquid courage to a whole new level. Dr. Giovanni Balla, upset over a business dispute, decided to urinate his frustrations by dousing the front doors of his former practice with gallons of fluid that had the unmistakable odor of urine. This peculiar act of revenge has left the new owner, Dr. Dylan Dinesh, in quite a puddle. Surveillance footage caught Balla in the act not once, but twice, soaking the doors and causing irreparable damage. The cost of replacing the doors and other related losses is estimated at a whopping $6,000. Is that 6,000? There's extra numbers there.
I think it's 6,000.
A whopping $6,000. Dr. Balla was arrested and charged with criminal mischief, but not before leaving a lasting impression on his former practice. He was released on a $5,000 bond, but his reputation might need more than a rinse and repeat to recover. Folks, let this be a reminder. When it comes to business disputes, if people piss you off, piss on them. Stay tuned for more fluid updates, and remember, keep your ears tuned to the waves of TMVP.
I like that we didn't mess with the copy on this week's nonsense.
Have you not been paying attention at all?
Oh, I guess not.
If people piss you off, piss on them.
I know, but there wasn't like a blatant like I'm Mike Latoris and I'm a fucking weird.
No,
like,
but
whatever.
there was
When AI when Copilot generously generate, I love Copilot. When they generate me the copy, they usually put, hey, this is your host, or this is your name here. So I just put, his thing in. So to personalize
I'm going to do my quick Erica impression. So nice production meeting we're having.
The first story included a quote from the person who was rear-ended by the butt doctor that indicated that they did not get their hair pulled or their ass slapped.
Oh wait, no, I did hear that because that's what made me pay attention, and I was like, "Is everything okay?"
If you paid attention, you might think the show is funny.
I'm sick, and I have a headache, and I just hate it.
You don't feel good.
Yeah.
Did she just say that she's married to you?
Yes. Exactly. That is exactly what just happened.
On a serious note, you have a migraine?
No, I have a cold.
Oh, okay.
She's got like a sinus headache.
I saw these really cool headache masks today. Like you basically like freeze it or heat it and put it over your eyes and
Oh,
over
that
your,
sounds so good right now.
They're
Yeah.
pretty. I've put a cold pack on my face for my sinuses before.
Yeah.
They must be spectacular.
This is like allows it to be like hands free. You just you know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
I remember when I was selling cars, everybody hated this guy Dennis.
Right.
And Dennis was either Indian or Pakistani.
Yeah.
So he was really aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Really aggressive. Like he would, if you're walking up to shake somebody's hand, you're literally making eye contact and talking to them. He would literally cut in front of people.
Oh.
And grab, because the first one, it was like first one to touch him was like the rule. First one to shake hands. He'd get in there. He would fucking grab. And I remember he grabbed somebody and he was so aggressive, and this person was a B-back, to see somebody who was available.
Right.
And Dennis talked his way into a split.
Oh.
And
He sounds like a terrible person.
That dude went out to Dennis's car and pissed on every door handle.
He had time on his hands.
No, he didn't. He just had a piss. You can piss around a car. It's real easy. So he pissed on every car handle. The best part about it is from the showroom, you could see Dennis's van. And you could see Bernie do it. He did not give a dude. Selling cars was some of the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. Wild shit.
When I was a lot jockey on a car lot, and one of the used car guys had a little bit of a problem, as some used car guys do, with Peruvian marching powder.
Yeah.
And
dude, you got to work 12 hours a day. You got to be on.
Yeah.
For 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. There is no turning off.
This guy was so cranked up.
Beat.
He got in his car, his demo, with the dealership's name all over it and the dealer tag.
We driving to the ocean.
And he went to drive to go to get some lunch. And a woman, I think, either cut him off or he felt she stopped short in front of him. So he hollered and said something. She said something back, and he got out of his demo in the middle of the road, ripped the wipers off of the woman's car, and beat the snot out of her car. He just stood there and beat her car with the wipers he tore off of it while he ranted at her.
And he was a salesman.
Went to lunch and went back to the lot.
Yeah. And sold cars.
Yeah.
He probably had better.
He also caught me behind the bushes one day and told me that he didn't like me and knew I was out to get him. I don't know what that was about.
I would stop jerking off in the bushes at work. I knew this one chick that she was so, she was such an idiot that she posted on Facebook about how Haitian immigrants were eating pets.
I've heard that story.
I've heard that it's been a big story. This it's pretty much all anybody talks about is because Trump got on and parroted this idiocy.
But we found some
debate,
truth, didn't we?
What's that?
I said we found some truth, didn't we? Springfield woman's persuasive rumor lands her in the doghouse. A catastrophic tale of barking up the wrong tree. Good evening, listeners. In today's positively shocking news, a Springfield woman has found herself in the doghouse after spreading a catastrophic rumor about local Haitian immigrants. Erica Lee, who initially claimed that these newcomers were eating pets, has now confessed she had no persuasive evidence to back up her tall tale. The rumor gained further attention when former President Donald Trump repeated it during a televised debate, causing quite the howl across the nation. City officials have been quick to debunk these claims, but not before tensions reached a fever pitch, leading to bomb threats and school closures.
And presidential assassination attempts.
Fuck that
Yeah,
lady.
you know, it's been crazy.
Like fuck
Right?
that. First
Two
of
of
all,
them.
fuck that lady and fuck everybody that shared that shit.
And fuck everybody who's like, I don't want to say still talking about it, but like is trying to make that a point. Like they believe it.
Yeah. They're Haitian. They're not Chinese. Right?
Ew, babe.
I think
What?
so.
What are you?
You're giving me the finger right now. All right. Well,
All right.
but yeah, but somebody tried to take a. I want to know how that dude knew to be in
How
the
do you get
golf
that
course.
close, right?
How do you know to be in the golf course? Because all Secret Service is like, well, you know, he just decided to go.
He had apparently been there like 12 hours,
Yeah,
just hanging out waiting.
and then he just gets arrested.
Right.
Puss.
Yeah,
Like, are you ready to go down for the cause or not, man? You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I don't know. What I see with this is, it's the bottom of the eighth here in the 2024 election. Trump is up, gonna throw to these liberals, and the liberals are the count. The count is 1-1, one ball, one strike.
Oh, got it.
They hit him once in the
Yeah.
ear,
Yeah.
right? This one was a ball.
That was a foul
There was
tip.
no one ball,
The
one
ear was a
strike.
foul
It was
tip.
Foul tip, yeah.
Ball.
That's right. That's right. Dumb. All right. What's
Oh, sports.
Well,
fantastic?
we do have a little bit more. Lee is now feeling guilt-ridden and anxious, and told NBC News
anxious.
that she never intended for her post to become a national barking point. She emphasized that she's not a racist, noting her mixed race background and LGBTQ plus identity.
But she still has
I
what
only
I would
wanted
call-
a little bit of people to know that I was racist, not the
But-
whole country.
Well, I mean, I just want to take a look at this because I try to look at humanity as the whole and take a look, and it seems to me that, you know, every group has their asshole, right? There's always an asshole. It doesn't matter, you know. Stupid people can be assholes. Smart people can be assholes. Handicapped people can be assholes. It's just
fantastically handsome people can be assholes.
that's right. Part of the human condition, right?
Yeah.
What does her LGBTQ plus identity have to do with her racism?
I could. That fits perfectly.
Right.
This fits
No,
perfectly. Let
I-
me make this point, please. That fits perfectly into what I was going to say. What that woman and everyone is suffering from is first world privilege. Do you get it? It does. You know, we're fighting amongst each other about goofy shit. None of us are actually racist.
No.
But when people come here from a shithole, it was defined a shithole by Trump when he visited. It's a shithole. And they come here and they bring their shithole ways. And the issue is that Americans don't want to live in a shithole. We've done a lot of work to clean up the shithole we have. Do you get what I'm saying? So when we look at the people who have come here for, you know, a better life, they're trying. My mother has a saying, Somebody who ain't never had a t-shirt thinks you're supposed to shit in it. If you don't know, right? If you don't know ways and customs and you don't know what things are for and you've never experienced that, dude, and right now in the city of Philadelphia, there is, I don't know any Hispanic from the city of Philadelphia that flushes toilet paper down the toilet. They put it in the trash.
Okay.
Because a lot of times in the country that they're from,
You
their
don't flush
plumbing
paper.
can't their plumbing can't handle toilet paper.
Well, they go to septic systems, and that the
Well,
paper is what causes you to have to pump it more often.
right. You know what I mean? But I'm talking the city. I'm talking, so there's different cultures do different things. And because you've been raised one way, you think that one way is the way, and anybody else is filthy. You have that. You listen, you can say you don't all fucking day long. You do. When you look at that, you're like, oh shit. Because here's why. It's human nature. We fear disease. Instinctually. We fear disease. And filth brings disease. You think what I'm saying?
I mean, you're
Am I
you're
not
drawing a
making
logical
sense?
line.
What's that?
You're drawing a logical line.
Right.
It's not the people. It's not their race. It's
Our perceptions.
that's they're doing something
Right.
in a way that
It was
we
very
don't
easy
accept.
it was very easy for a large group of Americans to believe that this was happening. And there might be the single incident out there. Let me tell you something. If I'm starving and someone's got a big fucking dog, maybe that dog ain't nice to me. Maybe I don't like that dog. Maybe fuck that dog and I'm hungry.
Hey,
You
if
think what I'm saying?
I absolutely do, because if I thought Dickie tasted good, he'd have to
Right.
sleep with one eye open.
Dude, not for nothing. I've looked at my dog's legs and thought, this make a nice chop. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
I love my dog. I'm not gonna
Right.
eat my dog, and I'm not gonna eat a dog that's nice to me.
We all
want dogs to be nice to me.
should realize that in the event of an apocalyptic event,
A catastrophe.
a catastrophe,
That's right.
good one. We're going to go through all the, larger animals.
Yeah, and then you
But
eat
eventually we're going to come to dogs.
Well, the thing is if most of the time a dog is more useful to you alive.
True.
You don't want to eat an old dog.
the bigger ones.
Yeah.
The little
But,
ones I bet the little ones are tasty and tender though.
But yeah, there ain't much meat on them. That's the problem. You got to kill
but
3 or 4 of them.
We're going to have storage issues because there may not be electricity.
Yeah.
So you're going to want a meal and out.
We're going to open up a restaurant called the Salty Dog. That's what we're going to serve. But we haven't
pick one.
Not for nothing, but my ex-wife, she as a teenager, their family had a pig, right? And she was the only one in the family that stopped eating pork. She would not eat anything made with pork. And meanwhile, they would feed the pig pork roll, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
It was like on a daily. But she would refuse to eat. And my mother said to her, you haven't been hungry enough to eat pork. And there was a point in time she got hungry enough.
Yeah.
We ate pork.
Yep.
Because that's just the way it is. Like you can't do beef and chicken, like, you know what I mean? And everything, and shit runs out.
And
she also
pork is
couldn't.
delicious.
She also had it. She wasn't very good in the kitchen as far as a chef. I wouldn't.
Pork is delicious.
Yes, pork is delicious. That's why we eat so much of it. But we did also. Speaking of all this, though, the oldest cat in the world died. 33 years old.
Oh my God, a millennial.
Yeah.
Elder millennial.
This cat was a millennial.
It's time to pause and reflect. The world's oldest cat bids farewell at 33. Good evening, listeners. This is your quirky news correspondent bringing you the latest in feline feats and furry farewells. Today, we mourn the passing of Rosie, the world's oldest cat, who has left us at the ripe old age of 33. That's 152 human years. Rosie, a fluffy tortoiseshell beauty, spent her golden years in Norwich, UK, with her devoted owner, Lila Brissett. Adopted as a kitten, Rosie lived a life of leisure, enjoying her favorite spot by the window and her beloved Purina One cat food. Her longevity has left us all purring with admiration. Rosie's passing marks the end of an era, but her legacy lives on. She may not have held the official Guinness World Record, but in our hearts, she was the true queen of longevity. Rest in peace, Rosie. You've earned your eternal cat nap. Stay tuned for more heartwarming and tail-wagging stories. This is Professor Mike Latoris signing off with a whisper of wisdom and a positive outlook.
Cute,
Sad, right?
I guess.
What? I mean, it's a 33-year-old cat.
Yeah.
You know, how sad could it be?
I just feel like I'm concerned for the pet owner.
Yeah, they were
Because
attached.
They must have been. Like, is she
Got him as a
okay?
kitten, you know. I know that I'm going to have a hell of a time, you know, when it's time.
Yeah.
I think about it all. It's like I'm not emotionally capable of handling that right now.
Yeah, it's
You know?
not easy.
And you know, there's this big joke about dads. I was thinking about this. You know, dads always say, "No, you know, I don't want no dog," and they say no to dogs. And but then if they get a dog, it winds up being his fucking dog.
Dad's dog, yeah.
It's dad's. You know, dad loves the dog because
The
dad's the one that takes care of the dog.
The dog that pulled my father down a couple years ago, and he had all the trouble with the brain bleeds and all. Loves him, wants to be his buddy so bad.
Aw.
I feel like that has something to do with the animal.
But see, the thing is I think dad sees that puppy and knows there's going to be a day. And it's going to be his day. It's going to be something he has to do.
Yep.
I think that's the mess and the fuss and all the bullshit and walking the dog and the dog fucking everything up. That's part of life. That's part of,
Yep.
you know, and so is this other thing. But if you can avoid that,
yeah,
you know, and then you're, you know, at what age? Because at that point, you're teaching your kids life and death.
Yep.
I'm leaving with this, you know, best case scenario. I'm leaving with this dog and I'm coming back by myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the best you can hope for for the end of your dog is to, you know, you can just see that it's time.
Yep.
The dog's no longer has a quality of life and you have to take it to the vet and say goodbye.
Yeah. You're right. Best case scenario, because like if you were in that situation, I couldn't do that for you.
No. Although if that were legal, I'd have done it 17 times, but I'm glad I haven't.
But, you know, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you can't do this for your best friend. You can't do this for your spouse.
Right. Where life just becomes suffering. But they do have it they have a service that comes out to your house too. You can have them just come out.
Yeah, but they realize that it's a person right away. Oh, you meant specifically for the dog. Okay.
Yeah. That was fantastic. You should get a IG Nobel Prize.
You think?
I do.
Well, it's a feather in science's cap, I guess.
I mean, it's the Instagram. I don't know where who officially judges the Instagram Nobel Prizes.
Is the IG for Instagram? Is that what that's about?
I assume.
Good evening,
Yeah.
listeners. This is the Reverend and Professor Mike Latoris bringing you the quirkiest news from the world of science. Hold on to your lab coats because the 2024 IG Nobel Prizes have been awarded, and the results are nothing short of a hoot. First up, we have a study that really took flight. Pigeon-guided missiles. Yes, you heard that right. These feathered friends were trained to steer bombs during World War II. Talk about a bird-brained idea that actually took off.
What they would
Yeah.
do
What?
is they would hang on. What they would do, this is back in the 40s. They would show the pigeons pictures, right, of the targets, and they trained the pigeon to stay on target to keep,
Yep.
And what it would do is peck, and it would sense that whatever was doing, it would sense the peck of the pigeon, and it would guide the missile.
Yes.
Like, I don't know why this is being given a Nobel, like an IG Nobel Prize in 2024, but it is fascinating what they've tried. I mean, dude, the Germans during World War II used to train dogs to run up and crawl under tanks.
Yep.
Strapped with explosives. So they'd go up and they'd lay under the tank, and then the bomb would go off.
Yep.
Right. Problem was, they weren't using American tanks for training. So when they let the dogs out, the dogs would run under German tanks.
Whoops.
Fantastic. Well, I got to keep reading there, Mike. I'm sorry.
Next, we dive into the deep end with research on dead trout that can swim upstream. It seems these fish are making waves even from beyond the grave. And if you think that's a breath of fresh air, wait until you hear about the pigs that can breathe through their butts. This study really stinks, but in the best way possible. Other winners.
There was a chicken that lived without its head for I think it was 16 months.
Wow.
They cut the head, the cut was so clean or whatever that the chicken didn't bleed out.
Right.
And it could still breathe.
Oh my God.
And he would this dude made a fortune driving around the country.
Yeah.
Showing people this dead chicken.
This headless
could-
This
chicken.
headless chicken.
Yeah, he could still hydrate it. And yeah.
Yeah. But when it died, he was fucked. It was a short-sighted business plan, to say the least.
Other winners include a study on how painful fake medicines can be effective, and another on the swirling patterns of hair depending on which hemisphere you live in. It's a hairy situation indeed. So if you're looking for science that makes you laugh, and then think the IG Nobel Prizes have got you covered, stay curious, stay quirky, and remember, sometimes the strangest ideas can lead to the most groundbreaking discoveries. One of the standout winners of the 2024 IG Nobel Prizes was a study that explored the unusual ability of pigs to breathe through their rectums. This research, conducted by a team of scientists, aimed to investigate alternative methods of oxygen delivery in emergency situations. Talk about a breath of fresh air. Here's the scoop.
Researchers discovered that pigs, like some other animals, have the ability to absorb oxygen through their intestines. This process, known as enteral ventilation, involves delivering oxygen-rich fluids directly into the rectum. It's not really breathing, it's more like gills.
Yeah.
Anyway, the study found that the method could provide a significant amount of oxygen to the bloodstream, potentially offering a life-saving alternative when traditional methods are hogtied.
Hey, Maddie, how much did they pay you for that experiment?
Fuck you.
The scientists conducted experiments on pigs by introducing oxygenated perfluorocarbon liquids into their rectums. These liquids are known for their high oxygen carrying capacity. The results showed that the pigs were able to survive and maintain adequate oxygen levels even when their normal respiratory functions were impaired.
How do you
It's-
teach a pig to hold its breath? You think it's like natural when you just stick the pig underwater and shove a hose up its ass?
I'm going to guess it goes something like this. Hey, Matty, do me a favor.
Fuck you, dude.
Let's see,
Why,
let's see how
dude?
long. Let's see how long you can hold your breath.
You don't want to be fucking with me right now.
Uh,
I keep telling you that. You don't listen to me, man. I don't know how to help you. I want to help you, man. But I mean, go ahead. What is it? My turn?
It seems these pigs really know how to bring home the bacon.
This research could have profound implications for medical science, particularly in emergency medicine and critical care. If similar methods can be safely applied for humans, if we could shove you in a tub and shove a tube up your ass, it could revolutionize the way we handle respiratory failure and other conditions where oxygen delivery is crucial. It's a real game changer. Or should we say a real ham changer? That's not a good pun.
While the study might sound amusing, it highlights the innovative and sometimes unconventional approaches scientists take to solve complex problems. The IG Nobel Prizes celebrate this spirit of curiosity and creativity, reminding us that even the most peculiar research can lead to significant advancements. So next time you hear about pigs breathing through their butts, remember that it's not just a funny story. It's a testament to the ingenuity of scientific research.
I knew a kid in college could smoke with his ass. Stick a cigarette up to his ass and he would pull smoke in and then fart smoke out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought was I should read the stories like when because I thought they were breathing air through their ass. And I was like, that's got to be unpleasant,
Well,
But,
I can't imagine an oxygenated enema feels all that great.
Can you imagine like coma patients being kept alive with just tubes up their ass? It's going to be the Matrix, dude. They're just going to be keeping you alive. Oxygen and nutrients in the wrong hole. It's gonna be fucking weird, man.
what was that movie with Ed Harris? I think it was like Deep Space or Deep Star 6 or something like that.
I know it wasn't Glenn Ross.
No, it
No.
definitely wasn't that.
I don't
Although
think
Ed Harris was in that.
I don't
Fantastic.
think they had any oxygenated enemas in that one.
It was the one where they're in that deep sea drilling.
Oh,
platform.
was that the Abyss or
Maybe it was the Abyss. It was one of those sci-fi movies, but like
Leviathan?
no, it wasn't Leviathan. That was, but it was they to go deeper in the ocean. They came up with an oxygenated fluid.
Yeah.
They said because basically when you were a baby, and in the womb, you breathed fluid. So that all you had to do was teach your body how to do it again.
Wow.
And they take this rat, just to show them the proof of concept, and they like put the rat in like the jar, and they pour some of this fluid in there with him, and the rat sits there and he jerks for a second, and then he's fine. He's in there breathing oxygenated fluid. Yeah.
So who knows what the future will bring? Not speaking of deep sea. I don't have anything prepared on this, but they've been live streaming the inquest into the Ocean Gate Titanic catastrophe.
Yeah.
And that guy was an asshole.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of footage of him bragging about how he didn't, like, you're not supposed to use carbon fiber and titanium, but I fucking did, tell you that right now. Like, I broke a lot. Fuck all them rules, man. You don't need rules. Fuck rules. What do you need rules for? We're going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to launch this motherfucker out in international waters. That way we don't have to follow no laws. Literally, that was like...
And that worked.
I had a better accent. He had a better voice than I did. Right. But, I mean, he was a friggin' asshole. If you want to check it out, I haven't, there's nothing, no prepared copy or anything.
Right.
There's nothing that popped into... Did you see any of that stuff?
No.
Cool. Thanks. All right, Mike, you want to?
Yeah. First, I want to tell you that after the break, we find out about Big Daddy and what he has to ask us this week and dig into some celebrity news. We have the latest on Jane's Addictions fiasco, Dave Grohl's dilemma, and Diddy's despicable demonstration of debauchery detailed in documents. In the C block, we're going to discuss a snake's attempt to become a ball python and attempt to recreate a classic episode of Mike Hawk PI on Cold Read Theater on the 202nd episode of the Media Virus podcast, which has been brought to you today by 302-46 Voice. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46 Voice. Our friends at My Sports Reports and Redbubble.com. You can go over there and check out their art shop and pick up some art. And as always, I like to give a shout out to the Stepmoms Without Children podcast. Ricky, how we doing at Stepmoms this week?
I mean, we're on break just for a week.
There won't be a release this week. There's been a producer problem. I have been
That son of a
dealing.
bitch.
I have been dealing with my parents' needs, and between that, have been immobile because of the significant amount of work I would do for my parents. So,
but feel free to.
So we're just
do
kind
a
of taking.
rerun.
We're just kind of There's plenty of them to listen to, but they're coming. There's another. It was just one of those things. I could not make a Friday deadline, so the host of Stepmoms Without Children gracefully gave me a reprieve to just, and I'm going to, now that the show is done, all the prep work for the show is done, I can start on, and we'll have next Friday, we'll have a brand new episode
Totally.
of Stepmoms Without Children.
Fantastic. We look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this.
Ew.
Oh,